Here's something most biology textbooks don't tell you up front. Your body has a built-in maintenance system, one that repairs damaged cells, recycles cellular waste, and even resets parts of your immune system. And that system? It largely sits dormant until you stop eating. Now, before you think this is a video telling you to skip meals, stop right there. It's not. This is a science video. It's about understanding what your biology actually does when food is absent, based on decades of peer-reviewed research, including work that won a Nobel Prize in 2016. Stick around, because what happens inside your liver, your gut, your brain, your immune system during a fasting window is genuinely one of the most remarkable things human physiology does, and most people have never heard it explained properly. Let's get one thing straight from the start. This video is not about starvation. Starvation is what happens when the body is forced into prolonged deprivation with no end in sight, and it's dangerous. What we're talking about today is something different: the intentional, time-limited absence of food, and the highly organized biological response your body runs in response to it. Your body doesn't panic when food is absent for a day and a half. It pivots. It shifts fuels, switches on repair programs, and starts doing housekeeping it simply can't do when it's busy digesting. We're going to walk through this hour by hour, and we're going to focus specifically on what's happening to your organs: your liver, gut lining, kidneys, brain, heart, and immune system. Let's start the clock. The moment your last meal is fully absorbed, roughly 3 to 4 hours after eating, your blood sugar begins to drop. Your pancreas responds by pulling back on insulin, the hormone responsible for shuttling glucose into your cells for energy. This is completely normal. It happens every night while you sleep. But here's where it gets interesting. As insulin falls, a counter hormone called glucagon rises. Glucagon sends a signal to your liver, and that signal is essentially, open the reserves. Your liver has been quietly storing glucose in a compact form called glycogen. Think of it as your body's short-term fuel tank. Under glucagon's instruction, it starts breaking that glycogen down and releasing glucose back into the blood to keep your brain and organs powered. This process is called glycogenolysis, literally glycogen breaking. Your liver is acting as an emergency power station, and it's remarkably good at it. Wow fact number 1. Your liver can store enough glycogen to power your brain for roughly 12 to 16 hours on its own. Okay, by hour 8 to 10, your liver's glycogen stores are getting low, so your body reaches for the next fuel source: fat. Fat cells, called adipocytes, begin releasing fatty acids into the bloodstream. The liver picks these up and starts converting them into usable energy. This is the beginning of what most people call fat burning, and it's driven by a real biochemical shift, not marketing language. Insulin is now low enough that fat cells are no longer locked. Think of insulin like a padlock on your fat stores. When it drops, the lock opens. Your muscles, heart, and liver begin running primarily on fatty acids. Your brain, however, can't directly use fat for fuel. It needs either glucose or a special alternative, and that alternative is coming, but we'll get there. Around hour 12 to 16, something remarkable happens in the liver. As fatty acids flood in, the liver starts converting them into molecules called ketone bodies, specifically beta-hydroxybutyrate and acetoacetate. This process is called ketogenesis, the creation of ketones. Ketones can cross the blood-brain barrier, the protective filter that keeps most substances out of your brain. This means your brain now has an alternative to glucose, and research suggests the brain actually runs quite efficiently on ketones. Some studies suggest more efficiently than on glucose for certain functions. This is why people who practice extended fasting often report mental clarity around the 16 to 18-hour mark. Not magic, just biochemistry. Wow fact number 2. The heart actually prefers ketones to glucose as a fuel source. Cardiac cells have been shown to extract more energy per unit of oxygen when burning ketones, making this metabolic state potentially cardioprotective during short fasting windows. Okay, and now the part that earned a Nobel Prize. Around hour 18 to 24, a process called autophagy begins ramping up significantly. Autophagy is your cell's built-in recycling and repair program. Here's how it works. Specialized structures inside the cell, called autophasomes, identify damaged proteins, dysfunctional organelles, and cellular debris. They wrap around this waste material, like a garbage bag, and deliver it to the cell's shredder, the lysosome, where it gets broken down and recycled into usable components. Think of it like a deep clean of every cell in your body, happening simultaneously. Japanese cell biologist Yoshinori Ohsumi won the 2016 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine, specifically for his work mapping how this process works. It had been theorized for decades. His work confirmed the molecular mechanics. Why does fasting trigger it? Because autophagy is suppressed by insulin and by a nutrient-sensing protein called mTOR. When you eat, especially protein and carbohydrates, mTOR stays active, essentially telling cells resources are plentiful, build and grow. When food is absent, mTOR quiets down and the cleanup crew gets to work. Wow fact number 3. Autophagy doesn't just remove junk. It's one of the body's primary defenses against the accumulation of misfolded proteins, which are implicated in neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Research in this area is still ongoing, but the connection is a major focus of current science. Let's zoom into specific organs and see what this all looks like up close. By hour 24, your liver has fully shifted from glucose exporter to ketone factory. It's also running a process called gluconeogenesis, literally the creation of new glucose, where it manufactures small amounts of glucose from non-sugar sources like amino acids and glycerol. This keeps blood sugar stable, even with zero food intake. Your liver is also undergoing its own autophagy, clearing out accumulated cellular debris, which may help explain why periodic fasting is associated with improved liver health markers in some clinical studies. The brain has stopped relying on glucose alone. It's now running on a mix of ketones and gluconeogenesis-derived glucose. Some researchers describe this as the brain entering a more stable energy state, less subject to the spikes and crashes that come with carbohydrate metabolism. Neuroinflammation markers, chemicals associated with brain inflammation, have also been shown to decrease during ketosis in animal models. Human research is still catching up, but the early signals are intriguing. The kidneys are working harder during this window, excreting the byproducts of fat metabolism and ketones. One side effect many people notice during extended fasting is increased urination. That's the kidneys filtering ketone bodies and the electrolytes that shift as a result. Importantly, the kidneys also begin conserving certain amino acids rather than excreting them, part of the body's elegant protein-sparing strategy. By hour 24 to 30, without food moving through, the gut lining enters a repair phase. The intestinal epithelium, the single-cell thick lining of your small intestine, is one of the fastest regenerating tissues in the human body. When the digestive load is removed, resources are redirected toward repairing and reinforcing that lining. Research in animals has shown that fasting can stimulate intestinal stem cells, helping to rebuild gut tissue. Early human data suggests similar pathways may be active, though more research is needed. As mentioned earlier, the heart is happily running on ketones. Cardiac cells are particularly rich in mitochondria, the energy-producing structures inside cells, and they extract energy from ketones with high efficiency. By hour 30 to 36, all of these systems are in full swing simultaneously. Autophagy is at or near its peak. Ketones are the primary brain fuel. The gut is in repair mode. The immune system is recalibrating. The liver is running gluconeogenesis with precision. The heart is running efficiently on fat-derived fuel. This is not starvation. This is a coordinated, ancient biological program, one that likely evolved over millions of years during periods when food was naturally intermittent. Your body, in short, knows exactly what to do. It has done this countless times over human evolutionary history. The science is simply now catching up to why. This section matters. Please watch it. Extended fasting is not appropriate for everyone, and attempting it without medical guidance can be dangerous for certain groups. You should not attempt a 36-hour fast if you have type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Fasting significantly affects blood sugar and insulin regulation in ways that require medical supervision. Are pregnant or breastfeeding? Your nutritional needs are elevated, and restricting intake can affect fetal or infant development. Have a history of disordered eating. Extended fasting can be psychologically and physically harmful for people with eating disorders, including anorexia, bulimia, or binge restrict cycles. Are under 18. Growing bodies have different energy demands. Have a history of kidney disease, liver disease, or cardiac conditions. The metabolic shifts during extended fasting put extra demand on these organs. Are on medications that require food, including certain blood pressure medications, anticoagulants, and others. Always speak to your doctor before attempting any extended fast.
All right, let's bring it home. Here are your 3 key takeaways from today. Your body runs on multiple fuels. When glucose runs out, it switches to fat, then ketones, a system built for exactly this kind of situation. Autophagy is real, Nobel Prize winning science. Extended fasting is one of the most reliable known triggers of this cellular cleaning process, which plays a role in everything from aging to immune health to neurological protection. If you found this genuinely fascinating, because I think it is fascinating, hit the like button and subscribe. It helps more people find science content like this. And drop a comment. What surprised you most? Was it the ketones fueling the brain? The Nobel Prize winning autophagy? The immune reset? I read every comment.